You are live.
Let's get you. So, yeah. So now you are. You're live. You ready to roll?
Live. I love that. First of all, should we start off with like what you came up with for our podcast name? Can we like talk about that for a second?
Yeah. So we, I've been coaching hiring managers and training them, and we hear all the time all the bad questions the candidates don't want to answer. And so we thought, well, we're going to be talking about bad interviews and some of the content that goes viral on our social, and playing on some of those words. We should use an interview question, which goes around.
Yes. And why not use the first
Yes.
bad interview question?
Is it one of the worst?
You know, I would say it's not one of the worst, but it's one of the first.
Yeah. Which first?
I mean, it is a first impression, right? They think only employers have first impressions about
It
candidates,
sets the
but
whole tone.
it does set the
And it's
tone.
also like how you ask it. So,
Yeah.
without further ado,
Drum roll, please.
it's don't tell us about yourself.
Yeah, don't tell us about
Or
yourself.
don't tell me about yourself. Wait, hold on.
Well, we'll get that figured out by the time we print it on something. I hope.
Yeah. You need to
Don't
figure out
tell
what's
me about
plural
yourself.
or not. Yeah.
Don't tell me about yourself.
Don't tell me about yourself.
Yeah.
So, have emphasis on the don't.
Right. Yeah.
One of the worst questions because also how you ask it too. Like, so, arms crossed, scowl face.
Right.
Tell me about yourself.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
And kind of scary.
Right.
And someone goes, tell me about yourself. So tell me about yourself. Kind of friendly. It just it's a scary question.
Right. But it's not just a scary question if it's asked intimidating, but it's also typically such a waste of time. Because what if you have a candidate that's like, you know what, I was conceived in the summer of 1984. You're like, oh no. There goes your entire interview talking about things that you can't make a decision off of anyway. So even in our videos, we make fun of a lot of bad interview questions, and that's one of the first. Tell me about yourself, because it can just derail the entire thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the top of the worst.
It is.
This is also the most common.
Yeah.
So I feel like it automatically gets ranked.
Right.
Highest.
Yes. Yeah. I do want to touch on quickly what you think the format is going to look like for us. Because that's where I like to live. You're like, let's get the image, let's get the name, let's get the thing. And I'm like, let's talk about
branding name.
Yeah.
Yes. So the content, I think we should do some segments. I think it'd be really fun to talk about new, topical news. So whether that be a viral post or some article, for example, one of our viral posts was something about job hunting. That could be something where we talk about that, maybe scroll through some comments and hot takes.
Yep.
Just deep dive on some of the content because a lot of times people don't get to hear the in-depth thoughts behind those.
Exactly. Yeah. They see the headline, but I have to give our followers so much credit. So we're on obviously TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. Our followers are absolutely hilarious. And the comments that they put in there, we get a chuckle off of them.
Yeah.
But to be able to share some of that content with other people and amplify their voices, which is something they're hilarious. Let's give them a spotlight too. So it's nice to hear perspectives of our followers so they can chime in on the content as well.
Yeah, what do you think? What's another thing?
Let's see here. The viral videos. Well, we do know that hiring managers are going to know billion-dollar people that billionaires are going to be writing articles about their top interviewing techniques. And so I think it's going to yeah, you're right. I do think it's going to be, we're going to be able to insert a lot of education. So Victoria and I train hiring managers on how to interview the right way. We have a 7-year case study to determine which interviewing techniques actually work, which ones don't, which ones are inclusive and higher with equity and with confidence. And I think we're going to be able to dissect some of the common things that happen and teach people how to influence their hiring managers and how to become a better hiring manager themselves. So I think it's going to be like our content usually is funny. We're going to poke fun at the worst bad interviewer that you can imagine. But then I think we're also going to be able to help educate too, so that people can learn something.
Yeah. And for the people that are listening that maybe aren't very interested yet, like you said, they might also just find the content interesting because they might learn something as well. Like maybe they might not know the question, but they just heard an interview with a legal question, and maybe they should find ways to divert.
Exactly. Yes. And as much as our content is focused toward hiring managers, though, we naturally accidentally collect candidates who feel so validated when they hear our information. They're like, wait a second, that is stupid that somebody asked me if I was married, or that is stupid if somebody asked me, do you actually need your salary? Because what does your husband do? Or whatever it is. I think that it's important, for candidates to listen to, so that they know when they're working with a hiring manager who actually knows what they're doing versus one that doesn't. I
Right,
think
big red flag. When-
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, they're being
really
asked some
weird.
of those kind of questions. It's like, well, if you're being asked that in an interview, what kinds of questions and conversations do you think you're going to be having when you work home?
Yes, into their company, like what's coming. Yeah, so I think that'll be a lot of fun for both sides, candidates and hiring managers.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great start. I think looking at our content and even some education, that's our channel. That's kind of what we do. Do people ever have any other friends on the blog?
Yes, I mean, we have so many friends in this business that are so good at what they do, and can share a lot of valuable information, whether it's from an HR standpoint, tech stack standpoint. I mean, we're at HR Tech. If you don't say tech stack, did you even podcast?
Doesn't count.
Right. So I think that there's going to be a lot of people that we can bring on that add some value. And then, yeah, I think we're going to find a way to weave all of that in together. I do also like the idea that you brought up. We talked about how much our followers are hilarious. They have like the best comments on our post, but also that's such a tiny little space for them to write something. So opening up like a quick DM, yes, tell us.
Don't get to get into our DMs as much as I want.
That's true.
There's
It's
some
a
good
good
stuff in there.
There's some juice, and by good we mean like awful.
Like bad.
That needs to be shared.
Right, like bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So bringing that out, I think, would be really important too. To share that information.
I agree.
Yep.
There are some good stories, and while we don't give candidate advice, like strictly, and we do divert that all the time,
Right.
we still do appreciate the horror stories and the content, and it's really fun because we've had it where people have sent in stories, and then we let them know, hey, this business is, and we're like, oh my gosh, so they feel redirected.
And those candidate horror stories, they, in the weirdest roundabout way, they help to educate hiring managers on what to say, like on what not to do, I should say. And that is equally as important because you're like, nobody actually does that. I'm like, actually, they do. Have you listened to your hiring managers? Have you ever sat in on an interview with them?
Don't you find that so funny when people say to us, and we get it all the time, to say, we need help. Right, we see that in our comments, and you just laugh, right? 'Cause that's what I do.
No, really not.
We just laugh, and we're like, have you been working? Or honestly, like, you're lucky, you're one of the lucky ones.
Yes.
If you literally are so mind by it, then you just, good for you.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you haven't been exposed to it, like the rest of us.
exactly.
Yeah. Because in my first interview for the big girl job,
Yeah.
my interviewer was definitely very intense and pretty speed up. We were just trying to tell me about yourself, right? So that was, his first question was not exactly worded that way, but he put his hands on his head, he leaned back on his chair. We were in a conference room, so it's the setting, getting tons of windows, tons of empty chairs, him and I. And he leaned back, his chair leaned back, he put his feet on the table, crossed his legs, and said, "So why should I hire you?" Same kind of vibe, right?
Right.
Tell me about yourself-ish. Really.
Right, yeah.
So that was a super fun experience.
Yeah.
We haven't had any of those, like,
There's-
that's
Yeah.
a real fun way to just toss it over.
It is, and you're definitely part of the minority if you haven't had that experience. Anytime I start a training, I ask people to tell me about a memorable interviewing experience. 95% of the people tell me negative experiences because that's what sticks out to them.
Yeah.
And no hiring manager thinks that they are that person that gave them the negative interview.
No.
Of course it was never them, right? So by sharing those experiences, I think that that's going to help hiring managers be like, oh no, that was me.
You would do that. So you would be sharing your experience by doing that. It's so big to have that be your brand in the marketplace and to have people say how wonderful an experience they had. It's so cool when we do have it. It's rare when we do hear from someone that says that they have a positive experience. It's the best.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, all right. Well,
It's been so fun.
it has been so fun. Thank you so much. And we're going to get our name like really set by the next time.
Yeah.
Don't tell me about yourself. There we go.
Yeah.
Don't tell me about yourself. For the record, get it on shirts, get it on a mug. Just for God's sakes.
Don't ask that question.
Okay?
See you guys soon.